Hi everybody, so what we're starting today is a little series working on strength. So important. To date we've been doing mobility work, we've been doing stretching work and warm-up work and cool down work, but now I want to work on strength, and I'm going to start where we should all start logically when you're thinking about strength building, and that's with body weight strength. So what I've got today are just a little sequence of training that will warm up all the major muscles in your bodies, because they're the ones that we really want to start working with. So it's wall sits, it's forearm planks, side body planks and squats, and this is just the beginning. So working with body weight first, and then we're going to start introducing weights, and then we're going to go into the gym and do some proper back squats and deadlifts and chest press and all the stuff that you might do later on in the gym. But the place to start is where we're starting today, and it's with body weight strength. So you can start to build up that stability and muscle strength that we lose so rapidly if we don't work with it. So enjoy and see what you think. So we're starting something new today. We're going to start on strength work. We've done mobility and a little bit of flexibility, and we've done warm-up and cool down sequence, and now we're going to work on strength. But today it's just going to be body weight strength, and then gradually we'll start to introduce weights, a little bit of weights, maybe a pull-up bar, and then I'll take you into the gym and we'll start doing things like back squats and deadlifts and chest press and stuff like that. But to begin with, and it's always a good place to begin, is with just body weight, just working with your body, but working with what you've got. You don't need anything extra for this stuff I'm going to do today. So we're going to start standing up. Going to stand up without using our hands, which is always a good idea. So finding your way up. I'm actually going to use my knee to get up. Ideally, you shouldn't be even using your knee. And we're going to start with something for your quads. So major muscles in your body, massive big collection of muscles there to the front of your thighs. And we're going to start with what we call a wall squat. So you're going to sink, whoops, that's a really good way to start. So that's a good idea not to have your mat where it can slide over the polished floor. So you're going to sit down and you're going to try and get your knees to parallel, okay, to try and get them parallel. If you're a little bit higher than that, it doesn't matter, but what you're aiming for is parallel. And I've my back pushed into the wall, so I can feel my back against the wall and the support of it. But already, and I'm only here a couple of seconds, I can feel my quads working. And if you could, I can feel them actually totally switched on. And how long do you hold this for is an interesting question. As long as you can is probably the answer to that. So you begin with something that's quite short, and because you don't want to overstress. And if you're feeling any discomfort on your knees, come up a little bit out of this, the depth I'm at, and come up a little bit higher. So I suppose I'm here about 30 seconds at this stage. Normally you'd be aiming for around a minute, really. And if it feels too much, then come out of it and come back into it again. But it's the simplest thing ever, and yet my quads are totally fired up here. And then to come out of it, then I put my hands to my wall and lift myself all the way back up. And I can really feel them. That's one of the best ones I know for just getting instantly into muscle. Which is really something that's quite difficult to do. But that's the first one I'm going to do. And now we're going to come down onto the mat, and we're going to work with overall body strength, particularly core strength. It's going to be working on your glutes then as well. So we're going to come into what's called a forearm plank. So to start down, you get down on your knees, and then you really be careful with the way you set up your upper body. So we always want the joints stacked in this. So my way of coming into this then is to cross my arms like that. So I have, that's going to be shoulder width apart from me. So I want my elbows to be, and my hands to be shoulder width apart. So I come down onto my mat and I bring my hands to the outside of my biceps, and then you can take your hands flat on the mat straight in front of you, but it's easier, I think, to start off with if you interlace your fingers, and then you've got that full support of your upper arm or your lower arms here. Your lower body then, so several ways of doing this. You can come back and stay in this kind of half forearm plank, or you can curl your toes under and lift up. So the one thing you want to avoid is letting your lower back fall down into the mat. So a little domed up is fine. Ideally, you want to be kind of at parallel. And then you're going to hold this. We can add a lot of movement into this, but for starters, let's just hold it. And again, I would be holding this for, well, to begin with, maybe, 30 seconds, and then gradually start to make it longer, hold on longer. I might move around a little bit on my feet. I might take one foot up and then maybe take the other foot up. And then I would sink back down and come out of it. So that's working all kinds of parts of my body. It's working my upper arms, working my core more than anything else. And that's something that we all need to have, our strong core. Now I'm going to come to a side arm plank. So for this one then, you're going to lie down on your side. So again, always elbow under shoulder. You never want to be at an angle here. Palm on the mat. You can use your right hand. I'm on my left hand here now. You can just do it with the knees bent. We're going to take them up in a second. You can do it with one knee on the mat and the other leg up. Or you can take both feet out, and we're going to come up with both feet together. But an easier way to do it is to put one foot behind the other and then just lift up. So that would be my start position. And then your hand can come up, you won't need it anymore. But then to come into a stronger version of this, then I would want my feet stacked. And then I would come up and then maybe take my hand up, maybe take it over, and maybe take my leg up as well, and then take it down, hand down, and come down. And again, you hold this for, 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds, and you just build it up. So all of these exercises are about building them up, time-wise, I mean. And then with those various modifications, so getting to the point where you can lift up with the full body. And then, of course, you would never neglect the other side. And again, always, it's so important that you set up properly. So elbow stacked underneath your shoulder, palm on the mat. So you can do it with the knee bent, as I said. That's fine. You can do it with both knees bent, and that's fine. Or you can do it with one foot stacked behind the other, and that's fine. But where you want to be aiming is the feet stacked one over the other, and then lifting up, and then maybe lifting your leg up as well, and then coming down. And the idea then is that you hold those positions. So they're very simple. So that's forearm plank, side body plank. Now we're going to come into a little bit of strength work for your core and then for your back. We've done one or two of these before, maybe. I think we've certainly done the corset hold. So that's a strength move for your core, a strength stabilizing move for your core. So setting up for this, then you're still on your mat. And of course, when you're coming down, you might as well make use of the transition down. So you tuck your chin to your chest, you pull your tummy in and your lower body all the way down to the mat. And when you get down, I always bring my knees in just in case I've been putting any stress on my back, and I rotate around. And then I'm going to set myself up. So to come into corset hold, bend your knees, feet on the mat, elbows on the mat to start with. And I want you to push your lower back into the mat and then release it. So push your lower back so you can feel that full contact with the mat and release. Now push it into the mat and hold it there as close to the mat as you can, because the minute you let the lower back go, you stop working on the core and you switch that work to stressing your back, which is not what we're looking for. So cross your arms across your chest, stretch your legs out, lift your legs up and lift your upper body up. This is a strength move. So what's the only muscles holding me in place here are my core muscles, my deep core muscles, so my transverse abdominis. holding me up, keeping me in place. And if I put my hand on my tummy, I can feel it quite tight. Might be a little bit of extra flesh around there too, but I can feel the muscle underneath. And never worry about carrying a little bit of extra weight. You always need a little bit in reserve, in case you get sick or something. And then release that, hug your knees into your chest, hands on top of your knees, and then you're going to rotate your knees around your hips. Okay, so let's rock up, back up to seated. So that's the front strength move. Now let's do one for your back. So if I'm strengthening my core, I also need to strengthen my back, because I won't be able to work on my core if I don't have a strong back, and I won't be able to work on my back if I don't have a strong core. So they need to work together in harmony. So for this one, I'm going to lie on my tummy. And always when I'm working with back work, I would always do something very gentle for my back first, a little back bend. So for this one, this is called baby cobra. It's not a strength move, but it's the prep for the strength move. So elbows underneath your shoulders, palms on the mat, tops of your feet are on the mat, your kneecaps are lifted and your tailbone is tucked. And this, you can see from the shape of my back that this is a lower back bend. So I'm bending into my lower back in preparation for what I'm going to do next. And then to release that, I would always just take my bottom back to my heels and stretch out. And then coming into the strength move then for our backs. So this is basically when I was on my back strengthening my core, the only muscles that were working were my core muscles. When I'm going to do this one, the only muscles that will be working will be the muscles of my back. So I'm isolating them in this strength work. So for this one, I'm lying down on my mat, and I'm going to take my hands behind me, palms facing up, and I'm gazing straight down at my mat. And then I'm going to lift my legs and lift my upper body. So you don't need to come up very far. And you can really feel this switch on. I can feel it in my glute muscles. I can feel it right up my back. So all of those really strong back muscles are at work here. And then you're going to hold this for maybe, 10, 20 seconds maybe. Breathing all the time. So none of this is done with your breath held. And then when I release it, I will always press into my hands, take my body back and just stretch out my back. So when you're doing this stretch at the end of that particular move, it's always your bottom to your heels. It's never your head down and your bottom up. So this is not the move. This is the move. So if your head stays up, it doesn't matter. If it comes down, well and good. That's fine. And then from here, pressing into your hands, and we're going to swing around again. And then the last one I have for you is a strength move for your glutes, big bottom muscles, and your quads again. And this is just a squat. So this is just coming in and out of a squat, just basic body move. And I'm going to, when we go into the gym, I'll be showing you back squats and all kinds of, elaborate things, but they all begin with these body weight squats. This is where they start. So again, I'm going to use my hands to get up this time. Okay, so always with squats with me. So 45-degree angle for your legs, and then hands to your waist, or hands to your heart, doesn't matter. Hands to your waist, and then you're just going to come down into your squat and lift up. The secret to making this stronger is as you come down, try and push your legs apart. And as you come up, still keep pushing your legs apart, but squeeze your glutes as you come up, when you come up to the top. So hands to your hips, and then push your legs away as you come down, and push in as you come up, and then down. And you could repeat that 5-10 times, and up, and then one more time. You're pushing all the way down, and then you're pushing all the way up with a squeeze of your glutes at the end. And that's just a simple introduction to body weight strength training. And it's the one thing that we do need, particularly as we grow older, and everybody's grown older, of course. So even from a very young age, working with strength is so important because we do much less physically than our bodies are designed to do. So there you are. They're very simple. I could have done several different ones, but they're the main ones that I want to work with you just in terms of body weight training. And then we'll take it further the next day. So enjoy and get strong and healthy and eat well. Okay, so that's it. That's our little sequence for our body weight strength. And it's something that you should include in every kind of routine that you do. I do it most days. Well, in the gym, I'm probably doing something slightly more advanced than this, but this is where you begin. You begin with body weight strength. We've all got great bodies. We can put them in all kinds of positions that will make them strong. And those little things I did with you today, like the wall squat, the forearm plank and all those, you will find they're demanding. And if you do them correctly and you hold them for long enough, they will build a lot of strength in your body. And then you'll be ready for weights, you'll be ready for the gym, you'll be ready for anything. And we do need to work on muscle because we need to have a body composition that the proportion of muscle in our body is healthy and good. And for most of us, that's not the case. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll advance those as we go along. Maybe the next time doing a sequence that you can do with me together rather than me explaining all the time. Anyway, enjoy, and I'll see you for the next video.